Close your eyes. Take a breath. Tonight, we're going somewhere wild. Let's explore the world of the Philippine Tarsier. The island of Bohol sits in the southern Philippines, where the rainforest is thick and dark and full of the smell of wet leaves. Tonight, a warm rain has just finished, and the forest is still dripping. Frogs call from the pools between the roots. Crickets fill the dark with their steady song. The moon climbs above the canopy, and its silver light falls only in patches through the leaves, leaving most of the forest deep in shadow. On a thin bamboo trunk, about as high as your shoulder, something small opens its eyes. His name is Blinco. He is smaller than a mango. He fits in one hand, and he is, in this whole dark forest, the smallest watchman. Do you know something wonderful about those eyes? Each one is bigger than his whole brain, heavier than his whole brain. They are enormous and perfectly round and golden in the dark, like two coins catching the moonlight. But they cannot move, not even a tiny bit. They are fixed and still in his small face, always pointing straight ahead, as if he is always looking at the most important thing in the world. He couldn't move his eyes, so he turned his whole head. He turned it slowly, almost all the way around, the way an owl does. His whole head swung left, and further left still, until he was looking nearly behind himself. Then right, and further right again. His cup-shaped ears went the other way, each one swiveling on its own, each tracking its own sound. If you had been standing in that dark forest at that very moment, you might have smiled a little, watching this creature the size of a mango spin its head all the way around, while its ears went in the opposite direction, wearing the permanent look of something that has just been surprised. His ears stopped moving. Far down in the dark, 3 long leaps away, a cricket rested on a tree trunk. "There," said Blinco. "Listen." His back legs are built like springs. His ankle bones are so long and powerful that they gave him his name. Everything below his knee is one long, coiled, ready thing, holding 1/4 of his whole body weight in pure muscle. He loaded those springs. He crouched. He aimed. He leaped as far as 6 meters through the dark. That is 20 feet, and 40 times his own body length. He crossed the forest air like a small, silent arrow, his great golden eyes fixed on the trunk ahead. He moved so quietly that not a single creature in the forest heard him coming. He landed without a sound. The cricket was in both hands. "Got you," said Blinco. He ate slowly. He is the only one in his whole ancient family, the family that includes monkeys and apes and us, that eats nothing at all but living things. No fruit, no leaves, no seeds, only the hunt. He finished the cricket, licked his small fingers, and looked out at the forest. He couldn't move his eyes, so he turned his whole head. Left, right. Everything in the forest was as it should be, warm and alive and full of the night sounds. And then Blinco did something that no one nearby could see or hear. He opened his mouth and called. Can you hear it? You can't. I can't. No one around him in that forest could. His voice goes so much higher than anything our ears can catch, 3 times higher, like a secret river of sound flowing through the dark that only a few creatures in the world can swim in. To any eyes watching, Blinco was perfectly still and perfectly silent. But in his secret high voice, he was filling the whole forest with his call. And from very far away, from the edge of the trees near the stream, something answered him. The answer was small and young, and it came from the wrong place. "I hear you, little one," said Blinco. He turned his whole head and looked toward the sound. Between here and there, the trees stepped back. A gap opened up, lit by pale moonlight where no trunk stood. Open ground. The stream below, silver in the dark. Nothing to hold on to. Nothing to land on if he jumped short. The little one called again, smaller this time, more uncertain. Blinco gripped the bamboo with all 10 disc-tipped fingers. He looked at the gap. He measured it with his golden, unmoving eyes. He had leaped farther before, but those leaps had always had something on the other side to aim for from the beginning. This time the far bank was further, and the way across was open and pale and very quiet. He jumped. Do you know how he found his way? His eyes could not move, but they were built to gather every scrap of light in the dark, so sharp and so clear that in the blackest part of the forest he could read the bark on a tree 3 leaps away. He turned in the air, his legs stretched behind him. The pale moonlight was below. The open sky was above. There was one long moment, one held breath, with nothing at all to hold on to in the whole world. And then the bark was in his hands. He held on with all 10 fingers. He pressed himself against the trunk. He breathed. He couldn't move his eyes, so he turned his whole head almost all the way around, back toward the gap he had crossed, then forward toward where the little one waited in the roots below the far bank. "Follow my voice," said Blinco. He opened his mouth and called again in his secret high voice. "Come, 1 leap, I will wait. 1 more, I am here." The little one heard him. 1 careful leap from root to low branch, then another, then another. Blinco waited at each step, calling, always calling, a thread of sound the little one could follow with its ears through the dark. When they reached the deep forest together, the little one tucked in close beside Blinco on the smooth bamboo. Both of them looked out at the night. The frogs were still singing below. The crickets were still busy with their own calls, none of them as high as Blinco's, none of them his language. The moon had moved a little further across the sky. The forest was whole. "Home now," said Blinco. And the night went on, and the smallest watchman kept watch. Later, when the sky above the canopy began to turn from black to the first gray edge of morning, Blinco's great eyes slowly narrowed to thin slits. His body settled lower on the trunk. 1 ear folded just a little, then the other. He had hunted. He had leaped. He had heard the small one's voice and followed it into the open dark and back again. Now came the long, good sleep. He couldn't move his eyes, so he turned his whole head 1 last time, slowly, slowly, taking in the whole forest around him. Then he was still. The Philippine Tarsier is still out there right now in the rainforest of Bohol, doing exactly what it was born to do. Do you think there are sounds in the forest right now too high for any of us to hear, and Blinco is listening? Sleep well, Fenekie. The wild world will be here when you wake up. Good night.